Hello and welcome to the Derby Museums quiz. You're finding us live from the Joseph Wright Gallery here at Derby Museums, and I'm your host for tonight. And my name is Mohammed Suleman and I'm the Director of Resources for Derby Museums. And my co-host today is Jen Quadrado, who's the Head of Fundraising. Jen, hello, how are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you doing, Mo?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Isn't it great to be here? Wow, what a gallery. You know, this is absolutely fantastic.
I love it. I love it here amongst the Joe Wrights. It's a real privilege to be able to bring the gallery to your homes. Did you know, Mo, that our Joe Wright collection is the largest and best in the world? Say best, that's a fact.
I did not know that, but absolutely, I'm not surprised because we've got some absolutely fantastic collection here. So Jen, the quiz, I understand that this was your idea. Where did that idea come from?
Well, my family and I have basically been enjoying a lot of quizzes during lockdown, and I thought it would be a nice idea to offer our friends, volunteers, supporters, museum visitors, staff, just the opportunity to have a little bit of the museum in their homes whilst our doors are closed.
Well, it's a fantastic idea, and I feel privileged that you've asked me to co-host this with you, so thank you very much for that. And so for the benefit of our viewers, can you tell us more about this quiz and how it works?
Yep, so tonight there's going to be 4 rounds of questions. Each round has 10 questions each. The first round is about our collections. That's probably the hardest round, so don't be too put off if you find it a little bit tricky. Second round is about famous museums from around the world. It's a picture round. It's famous, and there's some really cool little quirky ones that I quite like. Third round is about famous people, so famous people from Derby and Derbyshire. And the fourth round is about our nature collection, and we've just thrown a random question in at the end because I like the question. I didn't know where else to put it, so it's gone at the end of the 4th round.
Fantastic.
And so at the end of each round, at the end of each question, you've got 30 seconds to write down your answer. We've put a timer on there. Our technical crew have been amazing. Not sure I'd have known how to do that. And then there'll be a klaxon sound at the end of the 30 seconds, which will indicate we go into the next question. Klaxon sound, I don't know, that might happen, it might not, let's see. Don't share your answers, there is a live chat, so don't share your answers, otherwise you're just sharing them with everybody else who's watching. Just write them down on a bit of paper or the back of your hand, wherever, and then we'll mark them at the end. So there's 4 rounds. Then we're going to have a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and give you the answers.
Awesome. And there's a slight delay with the comments and the live broadcast. So if you do write a comment, then just appreciate that we will get it 10 to 15 seconds later on. So we'll try and respond as much as we can. So sounds fantastic. We're absolutely live. This is the first time we're doing this. So if it's not as slick or smooth as you have seen on TV, then please accept our apologies. But I'm sure that you will have a fantastic time. We've got some great questions, and we hope that you have a fantastic time with the family and allowing us to share your evening with us. So get your pens and paper ready. Get your thinking cap on, and let's start quizzing. So the first round is all about the museum collection. And so the first question is, name this famous painting, which is behind us here, and a bonus point for the full title. So name the famous painting and a bonus point if you get the full title. So Jen, what's your knowledge of Joseph Wright like?
Well, it's vastly improved since I started working here. How can it not when you're surrounded by all his work and with the lovely Lucy on the team? Did you know, I've got a fact for you, did you know that one of his pieces featured in a James Bond film, Experiment on a Bird on an Air Pump?
Absolutely, a fantastic James Bond film as well. Cool.
Can you name the film?
Skyfall. So, that's question 1. Question 2. Derby artist Ernest Townsend painted this view of Derby in 1926. But which street does it depict?
Did you know, Mo, that Ernest Townsend is my great-granddad? I actually feel like I should take a bow on behalf of the family. Thank you.
No, I did not know that, so I'm really surprised by that. I'm surprised you've kept that away from me. So does that mean that all the Townsend family should get this question right?
Yeah, and there's quite a few of the Townsend descendants watching tonight. So give them a shout out, Mo.
Fantastic. Hello to the Townsend Massive. I hope you have a great time. Okay, question 3. Which famous Renaissance bad boy was thought to have painted this piece, which was one of the first works of art to enter our collection? So what do you think of a Renaissance artist? I find it's one of my favorite period in history.
Joe, I love that you're loving the facts, and I love that you've come to support us tonight.
Thank you, Jodie, for that.
Mo, which artists in particular?
Well, Leonardo, Da Vinci, Raphael.
Hang on.
Donatello. I'm not sure if they're the Ninja Turtles or the artists, but there you go. Right, that's 30 seconds up. So question 4, name the sculptor who created this work. So talking about sculptures, Jen, I'm really excited about the Derby Ram Trail coming to Derby soon.
Oh yeah, so am I. I mean, it was really disappointing for all of us to have to put the sculpture trail on hold. But I think it's going to be great when we do launch the trail to be able to bring it to the city and to do so at a time when it's safe to do so.
It will make the cities a fantastic experience, vibrant, colourful. It'll be fantastic, bigger and better. So yeah. Okay, question 5. So in which Derby suburb was this view taken by George Turner in 1863? And a bonus point for naming the place more precisely.
Mo, I know I set the questions, but it's a hard one.
It's incredibly hard, this one. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't look like this anymore, though.
No, I mean there will be people watching who will get this. I think some of the friends like Pam and Catherine and Max and Jonathan, and of course some of the curators and VSAs as well, front of house staff. I think they will get it, but it's a toughie.
Yes. Well,
sorry if you don't know it.
Hopefully things will get easier after this. Awesome. So question 6. This late painting by Joseph Wright shows a scene from which Shakespeare's famous play? So are you a fan of Shakespeare?
Yeah, and my sister Liz actually is a really big fan, but we've seen quite a few of the performances. And did you know, that's all I'm going to shout at you. Did you know that Shakespeare's thought to have written around 37 plays and 150 poems? Oh,
fantastic. No, I did not know that. In fact, my knowledge of Shakespeare isn't great.
Joe is asking for some easier questions. Joe, you're my heckler tonight.
Is she a troublemaker?
She is a bit. I've known her for years.
Awesome. Right, question 7. This Viking object in our archaeology gallery was excavated in which South Derbyshire village? Did you know that? Now I'm going to do the did you know. Did you know that this is the first time I saw this piece was when Megan Fox came to the museum a couple of years ago, and it was fantastic. Not the object of meeting Megan Fox. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Surely the object's pretty impressive too. He had to get a Megan Fox in.
Well, when you meet a Hollywood A-lister like that, it stays for you forever. So yeah, fantastic experience. Awesome. Right. So question 8. This throwing club, or Ula, is displayed in the World Collection Gallery, but which Pacific island country is it from? Is it A, Tahiti, B, Bora Bora, or C, Fiji? So Jan, what's your favourite World Collection Gallery object?
That's really tough, Mo, because that's probably that's probably my favourite gallery in the museum. I'd say actually my little boy's favourite object, if I can use his, is the telephone, because it just gives welcome messages in lots of different languages, and he loves it. He just picks it up and just presses all the buttons, listens to it all.
I love it as well because it's an 80s phone, and that brings me back, absolutely. Right, question 9. This portrait bust by John Cassidy shows Frank Bradley. What is Frank best known for collecting and then donating it to Derby Museums?
Kids love this, don't they?
Is it? Yes.
Yeah, they do. I almost gave it away what it is there, but they love to see these.
I mean, what I like about it is the actual quality of the bust as well. It is really nice, high quality stuff. That, so, yeah. And has your son been and seen this stuff?
He has, yeah, and I don't really know what else I can say without giving away the answer.
Awesome. Well, we're nearly in there. Fantastic. That's question 9 done. And then question 10, last question of this section. The panelling in the Bonnie Prince Charlie Gallery is from the house where Charles Edward Stuart stayed when he arrived in Derby in December 1745. What was the name of this house? So do you know where this house is, Jen?
Yeah, I think so. I think Max Craven, when he joined one of the historic walking tours of Derby, I'm pretty sure he showed it to me, and it's not far from the museum. I'd like to say Fall Street.
Yeah, well, I think you're absolutely right there. It's either where the Premier Inn is, or it's where the Bonnie Prince Charlie statue is. Ooh, we've got a question from Lucy. I love the Bonnie Prince Charlie Gallery. Absolutely, I love it too, Lucy, and hope you're doing well. For me, as a non-historian, Bonnie Prince Charlie is the one that I really resonate with, and I absolutely love it. And we've got a ring that Bonnie Prince Charlie gave to a Derby girl that he liked, and that's in our collection. So yeah, cool. That's round 1 done. Hard one.
That was the trickiest round, I'd say. So if you've got a few right, well done. Does make you jump every time he speaks. It's same with me, Lucy. Children really like that when you go into the gallery, though, and he talks to you. Yeah, so I have to say it's really lovely to have you all here, and thank you ever so much for everybody who's taken part, or is taking part. Hopefully we've not lost too many viewers. No, technical, we're saying no, we haven't lost too many. All 2 of you are still there, that's Lucy and Joe.
Fantastic, right.
So if you're enjoying the quiz and you are able to make a donation, every £1 that you donate is going to be doubled. So if every one of you 75 donated £1, that's £150 for the Derby Museums, which is brilliant.
Every penny counts, and if it's gift aided, you get 20% more. So it's a great. So question. So thank you. So hopefully we can move on to the next round, which is all about famous museums across the world. So question 1 is this one. Which museum is this?
And apparently it's got a permanent collection of some 8 million exhibits.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff to document and look after. They must have a big storage facility somewhere. It's
incredible, isn't it? Imagine the dust that could gather on 8 million exhibits.
Absolutely. I went there a few years ago. Absolutely fantastic museum. Yeah. Awesome. So that's question 1 done. So question 2, which museum is this? I love it. I've been there as well. I bet it takes a long time to clean all that glass. That's all I can think about when I see that is that must take ages.
Quite a job. You've got to hope there's a crew of people cleaning that.
I can just imagine the window cleaner coming with his ladder and kind of cleaning every single pane of glass on that. Must take ages. Oh, Anne is saying that this is her favourite city.
Oh, hey Anne. It's usually Anne that's heckling me in a quiz.
Yeah. Oh dear, my phone is going off in the background here. Right, I wonder who that is. Right, okay, shall we move on to question 3? So question 3, right, that's an impressive looking museum there. Is that a big spider on the front there?
Yeah, and lovely Google told me it's a bourgeois piece. It stands at 9 meters high. Imagine that, 9 meters. That's huge.
That's a big spider there. So yeah, I've not seen that one, but it does look like a really nice museum.
It's beautiful,
Oh,
like
and
the
with
architecture.
the river, look at that. Looks fantastic. I wonder how many people have been there. If you can, Anne has saying she's never been but wants to go. And
Don't we
looking at
all?
that picture, I'd want to go as well.
Yeah.
Really good. Thanks, Anne. Okay, question 4. Which museum is this? And a clue is that it overlooks the canal or the river. Yeah, a really good museum, this one as well.
The clock in the background kind of gives it away. So clock, canals, and the canal. Thanks, Pip.
Pippa, it's not a river. Thank you, Pippa, for that.
Yeah, thank you, Pippa.
So that's for the Spider Museum. That's for the Spider Museum.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for correcting us there. Okay. Question 5. Oh, this is a great museum. This is one of my favourite. This is an easy peasy one. I expect lots of people to get this.
You say that, and it's quite an obscure view of the museum, but it is an iconic one, and one that many of you will probably you will know. So have more faith in yourselves than you might think.
Yes. Awesome. That's a good view there. 3 seconds. Right. So question 5 done. So question 6. Which museum is... we're back. Which museum is this? And a clue is that from the outside, if you imagine one of those puffer jackets from Superdry, if you put that on top of the building, that's what it looks like from the outside. Anyway, that's what I think when I see it. So that's a clue.
Random.
Yeah. It's also from my home city, where I come from. Yeah. Who's that in the picture? Anybody?
That's a Townsend descendant.
Alex John is saying it's still struggling. Alex, things will get easier, believe me. There will be.
Alex, you've got a whole family team there with you.
Question 7. Which museum is this?
Yeah, so this is another quirky one that I picked. I love that we've got so many quirky museums in the UK. So some of you might have been there. If not, the clue is literally in the picture.
Is that the boat or something?
No.
Is that a museum with lots of outdoor seating?
And the
as well?
museum is the red building in the middle.
Fair enough. There's a big queue for that.
It's popular.
Yes. Awesome. So that question 8, right? Which museum is this? William John says he's been there.
To the last one. You've been to the other one.
Yes. Question
I won't
7
say
one. Let's not give the answer. We nearly gave the answer away there. So what I love about museums in the UK is there's a museum for absolutely everything, and people are so passionate about it. I once went to a museum conference, and there was a very niche museum, but people were absolutely passionate about. Vicky Washington. Vicky from the museum. She said, when will things get easier? Well, we're hoping that things have got easier. Things hopefully will get easier from now on. From this point onwards, this is definitely a museum that you should know, Vicky. It's one which is a famous one. One of my favourite films is from this museum. That is a clue. Hopefully you will recognise that.
Yeah, of course.
Is that a dinosaur?
I think I can give the film you will probably know it, but famously, of course, it's Night at the Museum.
Is that Rexy in the background, the dinosaur?
What? I think your eyes are better. What?
Yeah. I wish we had a dinosaur in the museum. Right, question 10. This has to be one that most people should get. Come on. Which museum is this?
Yeah, Vicky, if you don't get this one, I think you've lost your job.
Due to open early next year, so we're really looking forward to that. Yeah. And what I love about it is the combination of the new and the old. You know, you've got the Grade 2 listed building, you've got the glass atrium. It looks fantastic, really does. And so that is the end of round 2. So I hope round 2 was a lot easier than round 1. And we hope that we've still got people here and that we've not lost anybody. The family are still here. Hopefully, Suleman family are still here. Excellent. So, round 3 is all about famous people of Derby and Derbyshire. And so, without further ado, question number 1 is which Derbyshire-born designer and activist's punk revolution changed the face of fashion? So which Derbyshire-born designer and activist punk revolution changed the face of fashion? So are you into fashion, Jen?
No, but I'm very flattered that you asked. I did see this designer's exhibition at Pickford's house, though, when it was there just not too long ago.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a great one. A well-known designer there. So that's question 1 done. So question 2. Which famous Derby-born suffragist, socialist and activist family are still trying to clear her name of a plot to poison the Prime Minister, Lloyd George? So have you seen the movie about the suffragists?
I have, yeah. I think I went with my my sisters and my mum. Distracted by Nicola's comment there. Will the face of Derby cycling be one of the famous faces? No.
Well, it's an internal joke. For those who don't know, Nicola is referring to the fact that I was once the face of cycling on Derby. And beside the fact that I've never cycled in my life, but I was helping to promote cycling in Derby. So yeah, that's where that came from. So, are we question 3? Question 3. Thanks, Nicola, for that. Which famous dame from Whatstandwell near Matlock broke the world record for the fastest solar circumnavigation of the globe in 2005? That's quite an achievement.
Yeah, it's quite an achievement. It's quite a long word.
And there's lots of inspirational women from Derby and Derbyshire, is what I find.
Yeah, there's loads, and at the museum we're currently doing a women's history project, so we will be bringing an exhibition about some fabulous women who've that we just don't hear about, who've come from Derby and Derbyshire. I'm really excited.
Awesome, sounds great. It sounds like a good exhibition. Awesome, so that is question 3. So question 4, which Derbyshire-born Labour MP introduced family planning clinics and ensured child benefits were paid directly to mothers? So it's a political question. Are you into politics?
What kind of question is that?
Well, it's quite political these days. Yeah, so.
Well, I love. Vicky, I'm glad you like the BB Horton. I love that this person fought so hard for women's issues, and if you haven't heard of her, then she's just amazing. And she also famously was featured in Made in Dagenham.
Laura Jacqueline is asking a question. Many fabulous women working at Derby Museums. Absolutely, we couldn't agree more, including your mother there, Sue Jacqueline. Absolutely fantastic. So question 5. So which pioneer of nursing are we celebrating the bicentenary of her birth this year? An easy peasy one. This one has to be, given the situation we're in with COVID, etc.
Yeah, you say that, but it's really easy to think that your questions are easy when you've got the answers.
It's only easy when you know the answer, isn't it? But hopefully this one, with stuff going on at the moment, people will recognise the name. And it's great that there's a connection to Derby as well, Awesome. And we've got a new painting of her in the museum. Oh, and volunteering too. Yes, absolutely. We've got lots of fantastic female and male volunteers helping the museum to be the place it is right now. Thank you, Anne. So question 5's done. Question 6. In 1999, Cecil Wright became the first what in the East Midlands?
I've seen her talk, actually. She's an incredible activist, and she does lots of great work to ensure equality and representation. So if you haven't heard of her, again, look her up. She's brilliant, inspirational.
Awesome. Does a lot for diversity and
yes.
Equality and representation. Awesome. Right, question 7. Which lady of the Mercians arguably saved Derby from Viking invasion? So did you know that we have the did you know that we have the only, and Rachel might correct me on this, the only the only full skeleton of a white Viking warrior is in Derby, and I know this because Megan Fox told me this when she was doing her program.
Another Megan reference, Mo. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why Derby is so synonymous with Vikings. Okay, question 8. Which Derby artist created the designs for the Rolls-Royce engine factories in World War II so that they would appear to German bombers to be no more than villages? And did you know also that we have the very first plane that flew over the Atlantic, we have the engine that flew that plane in the museum, the Eagle engine made by Rolls-Royce, an absolute fantastic engine. And we hopefully will have it in the new Museum of Making when it opens.
Hang on, we just got a question in there.
Oh, Zoe Victoria, did Megan Fox come to the museum? Absolutely she did. And she was doing a program about myths and legends, and one of them was about investigating whether there was female Viking warriors, and she came to Derby Museums, and I was here to host her. So I had a fantastic time. Okay, question 9. So which Derby astronomer famously created the star Atlas Callistis, which contains 26 maps of the major constellations visible from Greenwich? Oh, this is a hard one. So are you into astrology?
Astronomy, Mo.
Okay,
not astrology.
Okay.
Yeah, did you know that this guy also founded the Greenwich Observatory? Maybe that's another little bit of a clue.
Okay.
Very famous astronomer, not astrologer.
Okay. I stand corrected. A final question in the round 3. Which Derby-born artist has often been dubbed Derbyshire's John Constable? This is a hard one.
I haven't got anything else to say. That is hard.
That is a hard one.
Well,
hopefully the artists among us will be able to get that. Oh, Judy from accounts. Great job, Mo and Jen. The comments from everybody are making me giggle. 20% Viking. Ooh, very well. I didn't know that, Judy. So thank you for sharing that fact. It's very interesting. I hope you guys are enjoying this quiz and enjoying all the questions. That's 3 rounds done. How are people finding it? Let us know. You know, we are here live at the Museum and Art Gallery from the Joseph Wright Gallery, and having a fantastic time sharing an evening with you guys. 3 rounds done, 1 last round to go. Any comments, any advice for people, Jen?
Just hang on in there.
Right, so round 4. Okay, this is all about the Noticed Nature Field Joy Gallery, which profiles nearly 2,000 specimens from our natural history collection. So one of our most popular galleries, and I hope people will be able to answer some of these questions. So first question, on which continent will you not find a fox?
And here's a little bit of information. So did you know that there are 37 species of fox, or if you're just looking at true species, 12.
Oh, Emma Hallam. Emma, hello, nice to see you again. There are very few questions that Jonathan and I are struggling with. There are a few questions that Jonathan and I are struggling with. I'm surprised by that. I would have thought you would have known all of these things. So in a way, that's good, Jen, that you've got a hard question, because I was thinking about Jonathan, whether he'd know all of them, and it would be very unfair for the rest of us, but good that we're challenging you guys. That's great. So question 2, celebrated across the globe on the 3rd Saturday in February each year, which animal is the most trafficked in the world?
And this, I love this animal, but it also takes its name from the Malay word which sounds similar to its name, so I'm not going to give you the Malay word, but that means roller.
Roller, like
Roller.
as in like paint roller.
As in roller.
Roller.
Yeah, well, yeah, similar thing. It's pretty
Fantastic.
cute.
Excellent. Okay, question 3. An ichthyosaurus was a dinosaur. True or false? So I think this is an easy one, Jen.
I know, but you say that and people are going to feel a wally.
I'd never come across this word until Spen said to me what it was, so definitely an easy one. It's Katie, I know this, thanks to Kat. Oh, is that question 2 or question 3? I think question 2.
Kat is a wealth of knowledge on our
Yes.
Notice Nature Gallery,
Yes.
so I imagine that people know lots of things thanks to Kat. So it's good. It's good you're doing well, Katie.
Right, question 4. Some scorpions have venom poisonous enough to kill a person. Is that true or false? So come on, Jen, what's happening with these types of questions?
I know, it's quite a change from round 1, but I thought, you know, it's just cool things about nature at this point. I think that's it. I thought people might enjoy it.
And Andrea Mercer, hi Andrea, nice to see you here. She's saying, Mo, you love dinosaurs. Absolutely, I love dinosaurs. You know, from my early age, absolutely fascinated with them. And I hope one day we can bring Dippy the dinosaur to the museum here in Derby. Okay, question 5. Approximately how many species of butterflies are there in the world? A, 18,500, B, 20,000, C, 35,000, or D, 12,800? Lots of butterflies. We got a comment from William John again. The ichthyosaurus actually held remarkably progressive views. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I don't know what to say to that.
Other than it's very interesting. So, okay, we're on to question 6. Okay, so which spider has a leg span of up to 30 centimeters? And I was talking about this on the Twiggy show this morning, and when Twiggy asked me to come on the show. And one of the largest spiders in the world is the tarantula one, but this is not the answer to that one. But I don't want to give too much away. Vicky, guys, this is better than Eurovision.
I do.
I hope we're not getting any nil points for anybody. That's what we want. We want 12 points. And 12 points goes to Jen and Mo. the Phil and Holly of Derby, apparently.
Hang on,
that's
Mo.
who we are.
Let's crack on.
Right, question 7. What is the smallest species of penguin measuring 16 inches tall? So question 7. So the largest are, of course, the emperor penguin at 120 centimeters. Not that taller than me, myself, I would have said. Janine Derbyshire, watch out, Rylan. or Bradley Walsh. I like to see compare myself to Bradley Walsh. But yes, thanks, Janine. Thanks. Hope the Derbyshire family are having a good time there. Okay, question 8. The Allington hippo, found in 1895, was discovered next to which pub? And pubs open tomorrow, as you know. Quite topical, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Andrew Cragg is saying, hi Jen, hi Mo, I think we've got nil points.
Come on,
Andrew,
Andy. Come on, Sarah.
Come on. It's hard being on this side of the camera. It's not easy, is it, Jen?
This is a pub question for my cousin Alex, who wanted, you know, he thought if there's a pub round.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, you should get this one, definitely. Come on. This you definitely got 1 point there. Right, question 9. So which wildlife television presenter helped to open the Notice Nature Feel Joy Gallery at Derby Museum and Art Gallery? This is a good one. It was slightly before your time, but it was amazing when she came. You know, she spent the whole day talking to the public. It was great, really good.
Yeah, I was sorry to miss it, but I really like that she's got a bird on the wall, on the Buy a Bird wall. It's just really nice to see that bit of support for the museum. Yeah,
no, she's a great ambassador for nature. Good clue there. Okay, the last question in the Derby Museum quiz, which is a random question. So I'm really looking forward to this. So, okay, so this is match the fridge with the museum staff. So you got one, Jen, and you've got two. Oh, my mic's gone. You got one, Jen Quadrado. Two is Becca, who is front of house staff at the museum. And three, we've got the chief exec, Tony Butler. Salute, Tony, as number three. And then you've got three fridges, A, B, and C. So match the person who belongs, whose fridge it belongs to.
Shamelessly stolen from a staff baby shower, so thanks guys for that idea. Just thought it's a bit weird, but also strangely fascinating to see the contents of other people's fridges.
Mine's is not as full as C. C is full. That's a lot. Pippa just laughed at us, so hopefully
Thanks,
that was a
Pippa.
good laugh rather than a bad laugh. So yeah. So you get a point for each one that you'll get right. So there's 3 points up for grabs here. Okay, and that's the quiz. Fantastic. You know, it's been awesome going through, having a fantastic time with you guys. Before we finish, we've got a 5-minute break. But before we have that break, there'll also be a video that we want you to see, and it kind of tells you more about the stuff that you know we're helping to do and helping to inspire the people of Derby. Yeah.
So just to say, you know, every pound that might be donated tonight will be doubled. So if you can make a donation in support of our work, that would be greatly appreciated. And you know, if you are able to support us, this is just a short video to show you what you will be supporting.
Awesome. Hello and welcome back. I hope you've had a nice break, had your tea refreshed, and your second slice of cake as well. Yeah, that's obligatory. And so some great messages there, Jen, about the work that the museum is doing. Really inspirational. And every penny, every pound that you can help donate ensures that we can continue this work that we do to make a big impact in communities around Derby. Oh, we got another message.
Oh, thanks, Andy.
And just donated a tenner. Great work, guys. Thanks, Andy. That's much appreciated. And that will be doubled by the lottery. So that's £20 to the museum endowment. So a great start there. So thank you for that.
Next time I see you, I'll bring a gift aid form. We'll make it £25.
So shall we go and start with the answers then?
Yeah.
I'm sure people are eagerly waiting. So the answers for round one and question one. So name this famous painting and a bonus point for the full title. And the answer is the orrery, of course. And if you get the orrery, you get a point. But if you also wrote a philosopher giving that lecture on the orrery in which a lamp is put in place of the sun, then you get an extra bonus point for that. That's quite a mouthful there. I wonder what Joseph Wright was thinking when he named it, quite literally. So question two, Derby artist Ernest Townsend painted this view of Derby in 1926, but which street does it depict? And the answer is Queen Street, of course. A great view there of Queen Street. One of my favourite. I love this the street when you're walking by it. Love it. Okay, question three. Which famous Renaissance bad boy was thought to have painted this piece, which was one of the first works of art to enter our collection? And the answer is Caravaggio. It's a name that rattles very easily. Caravaggio. Love that. So question four, name the sculptor who created this work. And the answer is Ronald Pope, absolutely. And of course we've got his exhibition at the Museum and Art Gallery at the moment. So when we open on Tuesday, you could come and have a look at this fantastic exhibition. Okay, the hard one. This is the hard one. Question five. In which Derby suburb was this view taken by George Turner in 1863? And a bonus point for naming the place more precisely. And the answer is Little Over, and more precisely was Little Over Hollow. A really nice place, one that looks quite beautiful. And then question six, the answer to this question, this late painting by Joseph Wright shows a scene from which Shakespeare's famous play? And the answer is Romeo and Juliet, absolutely. Fantastic play. Question seven, the Viking objects in the archaeology gallery were excavated in which South Derbyshire village? And the answer, of course, is Repton. Yeah, very famous for Vikings. And Anne is saying she lives near Little Over. Absolutely, great. It's a great little place, Little Over, very scenic. Question 8. This throwing club, or Ula, is displayed in the World Collection Gallery. Which Pacific island country is it from? And the answer is C, Fiji. Lovely. Question 9. This portrait bust by John Cassidy shows Frank Bradley. What is Frank best known for collecting and then donating to Derby Museums? And the answer is toy theatres, of course, at Pickford's house, which your boy absolutely loves. Yeah. Question 10. The panelling in Bonnie Prince Charlie Gallery is from the house where Charles Edward Stuart, or Bonnie Prince Charlie for short, stayed when he arrived in Derby in December 1745. What was the name of his house? And the answer is Exeter House, of course, on Full Street. And so that's the answers for round 1. And Jen, round 2?
Yep. So we asked you to name the well-known museums in these pictures. So question 1 is, of course, the British Museum, London. 2, the Louvre in Paris. 3. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It's a river.
I really want to go.
And it's the sea. It's not the river. It's the sea, by the way.
Pippa will be back on comment. It's the Guggenheim in Bilbao. Bilbao. Thanks, Mo. This is a tricky one, I think, but it's of course Anne Frank's house in Amsterdam. And the shot perhaps made it a bit difficult, but hopefully some of you got this. The Natural History Museum in London, very well visited. Quite different view of this museum with a little boy. One small step for man. It's, of course, the National Space Centre in Leicester. Whoa. I think this little boy might be watching tonight. If he is, hello. And of course, this one is the smallest house in Great Britain, in Conwy. And, I think this is just beautifully random. I had to block out the name of the museum and the picture, which would have given it away, because, of course, it's the Pencil Museum in Keswick. And this one, famously, Knighton Museum, Smithsonian Museum of Natural History in Washington. And of course, we're going to be disappointed if you didn't get that. Maybe you've joined us and you're not familiar with Derby, but it's the Museum of Making in Derby. That's what it's going to look like, and is almost looking like now. So back to you, Mo.
Fantastic. Yeah, famous people of Derby. So question 1, which Derbyshire-born designer and activist punk revolution changed the face of fashion? And of course, Vivienne Westwood, a fantastic person, a great fashion exhibition that we had at Pickford's. Question 2, which famous Derby-born suffragist, socialist and activist family are still trying to clear her name of a plot to poison the Prime Minister, Lloyd George? And the answer is Alice Weldon, of course, and we have a Star Walk of Fame for her as well. Question 3, which famous dame from Watstandwell near Matlock broke the world record for the fastest solo circumnavigation of the globe in 2005? And it was, of course, Dame Ellen MacArthur. Great achievement. Question 4, which Derbyshire-born Labour MP introduced family planning clinics and ensured child benefits were paid directly to mothers? And the answer is Barbara Ann Castle. Great name. Question 5, for which pioneer of nursing, you just have to say pioneer of nursing and you know who it's going to be, are we celebrating the bicentenary of her birth this year? And of course, the answer is Florence Nightingale. In question 6, in 1999, Cecil Wright became the first what in the East Midlands? And the answer is the first black female professor. Very good achievement there. And question 7, which lady of the Mercians arguably saved Derby from a Viking invasion? And the answer is Ethel Fled. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I'm
glad you had to pronounce that one.
Ethel Fled.
She's just really cool that she just saved Derby from the Vikings. I think that's really cool that we have that bit of history.
Okay, question 8. Which Derby artist created the designs for the Rolls-Royce engine factories in World War II so that they would appear to German bombers to be no more than a village? And the answer is Ernest Townsend, your relative.
Hear a cheer going up from my family there. Whey.
Fantastic. A big cheer for the Townsend massive. So question 9. Which Derby astronomer famously created the star Atlas Callistus, which contains 26 maps of the major constellations visible from Greenwich? And the answer is John Flamsteed, FRS. It's like me, I've got FCCA, he's FRS, after his name. So question 10, which Derby-born artist has often been dubbed Derbyshire's John Constable? Again, a hard one, Jen. And the answer is George Turner, of course. Of course it is, George Turner. Excellent. So that's round 3 answers. I hope everybody is able to mark and not cheat. Definitely no cheating. if you cheat, you'll be penalised for that.
But you're just cheating yourselves.
Absolutely. So Jen, question around 4.
So this round is themed on our Notice Nature Field Joy Gallery, which profiles 2,000 specimens from our natural history collection. Let's see how you did on this one. So on which continent will you not find a fox? Of course, it's Antarctica. There's one of the Townsend Massive.
Oh, okay.
With some guns.
Cirrus John. Pleased to meet you.
Celebrated across the globe on the 3rd Saturday in February each year. Which animal is the most trafficked in the world? Of course, it's the gorgeous pangolin.
And we have one of those, don't we, in our collection?
We do, yeah. And the Malay word is pangalung for where it takes its name. There you go. And pangalingo from Cat. Thanks, Cat. And Ichthyosaurus was a dinosaur. Do we think that's true or false? Of course, it's false.
No. I was told it was true, that one. Spen, I'm going to pick. Next time I see you, Spen, you said ichthyosaur was a sea dinosaur.
Don't mean to start any fights. Sorry. Some scorpions have venom poisonous enough to kill a person. Is that true or false? Of course, it's true.
Of course.
Approximately how many species of butterflies are there in the world? 20,000. And then I did read that there were, so 20,000 was the original source that I got that from, but then I read it might be 15 to 20,000. So if you went for the 18,500, we'll let you take that answer. Which spider has a leg span of up to 30 centimetres? Of course, the giant huntsman. Wouldn't want to meet that on a night out. Who would?
No.
What's the smallest species of penguin, measuring 16 inches tall? The little blue, or little, if you just put little penguin. The Allenton hippo, found in 1895, was discovered next to which pub? If you're a regular at the museum, you've probably seen this or seen it on our website. It was the Crown Inn. And which wildlife television presenter helped to open our Notice Nature Field Joy Gallery at Derby Museums and Art Gallery? Of course, it was Michaela Strachan. And question 10, match the fridge in the museum staff. Well, it's a bit random, but hopefully slightly fascinating and a bit of fun at the end of the quiz.
So it's one C.
Yeah, those who know me, mine's obviously with the Alpro. Becca's randomly with a Barbie. I was like, why have you got a Barbie in your fridge? She's doing some stuff on Instagram. And Tony, who's, he works up here, he's got his family down south, so it's like...
This is a second home. This is a second home fridge.
Yeah.
It's a second home fridge.
Second home fridge.
Awesome. Well, that's it for the quiz and all the answers. I hope you've had a fantastic time. I hope you've enjoyed taking part. We've had a great time, and we feel very honoured that we spent the evening with you guys. If you want to share how well you've done, I think the maximum is 44 points. So the scores will be out of 44. It would be great to find out how well you did, and if you can share that on social media. The hashtag to use is Derby Museums Quiz. And so if you tweet it, Facebook it, Instagram it, it'll be great to find out how people did, and any feedback you have. It'd be great to see and to learn, so that if we do it again, at least we know how to make it better. And so again, just want to say thank you for being with us. Jen, any last words?
Thank you for taking part. Thanks, Katie, for saying thank you. Thank you for saying thank you. And thank you also to everyone who's donated so far. It's really appreciated and will help us to continue to open our doors and inspire and engage the next generation. Alex, 23, that's a good score,
Alex,
actually.
The doctor got 23. Well done, Alex.
Good.
It's a good score. William, thanks, guys. Great show. Bow tie sells up 70% during the quiz. Yes, I've got my dedicated.
We should have got sponsorship for that.
Yes, absolutely. So So before we go, there's a video that we want you to see, which is to show the museum opening on Tuesday, and it's a very light-hearted piece just to show the work that we've done to make sure that it's absolutely ready for people to come and visit, to know that it's safe, to know that it's clean, and that you'll have a fantastic time, and that's coming up next.
Don't expect one of those boring training videos either. This is a fun shot.
And so that's it, and good night from us, and I hope you have a fantastic evening.
Thank you.